For countless millennia, humanity has gazed upon the cosmos, striving to comprehend its boundless majesty and intricate laws. We chart the stars, map distant galaxies, and meticulously decode the faint whispers of the universe's primordial past. Our understanding rests on observed data, theoretical frameworks, and the unwavering march of cosmic time, each discovery adding another piece to the grand mosaic. But what if, hidden within this meticulously constructed tapestry, there existed a profound tear, a void where a fundamental piece of reality once resided? What if our universe, in its grand, unfolding drama, experienced a defining moment, an entire epoch that was simply erased? A cosmic event so utterly disruptive, it left no perceptible trace, at least not one we initially recognized. This isn't speculative fiction. It's the chilling premise born from a nascent, perplexing discovery. Our journey begins not with a thunderous bang, but with a faint, almost imperceptible ripple in the furthest reaches of space-time, hinting at a truth far stranger than we could have ever conceived. The universe, it seems, has its own obscured memories, its own deleted scene. The first anomaly appeared not as a sudden flash or a cataclysmic explosion, but as a subtle statistical deviation in the cosmic microwave background radiation data. Our most sophisticated sensors, designed to map the universe's earliest light, registered a region where the expected thermal signature simply wasn't uniform. It was a patch of surprising stillness, a calm in the energetic chaos of the nascent universe's afterglow. Initially, it was dismissed as an instrumental error, a digital glitch, or perhaps interference from terrestrial signals. Our protocols demanded multiple cross-checks, recalibrations, and independent verifications. Yet, with each successive scan, the persistent whisper grew louder. This wasn't noise, it was an absence, a quiet hum where there should have been a louder, more chaotic chorus. It was like finding a perfectly edited silence within a symphony of cosmic creation, meticulously placed and undeniably deliberate. Dr. Aris Thorne, a theoretical cosmologist known for his rigorous skepticism, was the first to recognize the deviation's true significance. What others saw as a data anomaly, he perceived as an unprecedented signature. The quiet region in the CMB wasn't just quieter, it exhibited a peculiar null state, a complete lack of expected fluctuations that defied all known physics. It was as if specific wavelengths of primordial energy were systematically absent, meticulously scrubbed from existence. This wasn't a cold spot caused by a void or a gravitational lens. It was something far more profound, an engineered emptiness. His initial reports were met with polite incredulity, then professional curiosity, and finally, a creeping apprehension. The data was too precise, too consistent, across multiple independent observations. This wasn't merely a missing piece of the puzzle. It was evidence that the puzzle itself had been fundamentally altered. To confirm the anomaly, our team initiated a global collaboration, pooling resources from the most advanced radio telescopes and space observatories across Earth and in orbit. We directed the colossal dishes of the Atacama Large Millimeter/Sub-Millimeter Array, the Planck satellite, and even nascent lunar observatories towards the precise cosmic coordinates. The goal was to eliminate every conceivable source of error. Day after day, the data poured in, vast oceans of information, each wave bringing the same, unsettling truth. The quiet zone wasn't a transient phenomenon. It was a persistent, fundamental feature of that specific region of the early universe. It wasn't fading, oscillating, or shifting. It was a constant, stark absence, a cosmic echo of nothingness. The consensus soon shifted from error to enigma, and a sense of growing unease settled over the scientific community. The more we analyzed the Lacuna, as it was tentatively named, meaning a blank space or missing part, the more its peculiarities deepened. It wasn't merely devoid of standard CMB fluctuations, it seemed to actively resist the presence of observable cosmic structures. Nearby galaxy clusters appeared subtly warped, their light bending around the void in ways that couldn't be explained by gravitational lensing alone. It was as if the very fabric of space-time at its periphery was subtly different, creating a boundary that was more than just empty space. It was an asterisk excluded the buried space. Normal physical laws seemed to slightly fluctuate around its edges, like disturbed water around an invisible stone. This wasn't a natural cosmic occurrence. It hinted at a profound intervention, an intentional void in the universe's blueprint. The implications were staggering. If the Lacuna wasn't a natural formation, what force could possibly carve such an absence into the primordial universe? Theories ranged from an unknown natural phenomenon of immense scale, far beyond our current understanding, to highly speculative ideas of advanced cosmic engineering. Dr. Thorne argued for a subtraction event rather than a natural absence, pointing to the pristine, almost surgical nature of the void. It bore no resemblance to black holes, cosmic voids, or even supervoids caused by large-scale structure formation. This was different. This was designed nothingness. The very notion sent shivers down the spines of hardened astrophysicists. It implied a mechanism, a process, or even an entity capable of altering the fundamental reality we inhabit, removing sections as casually as one might delete a digital file. Our research moved from detection to interpretation. We began feeding the Lacuna's data, or lack thereof, into our most advanced cosmological simulations. The results were consistent and deeply unsettling. Every simulation that attempted to incorporate a naturally occurring phenomenon at that scale broke down, yielding impossible outcomes, or diverging wildly from observed universal structure elsewhere. However, when we introduced a hypothetical deletion parameter into the Big Bang simulation, a consistent pattern emerged. It suggested that a specific, complex set of information, corresponding to an entire era of the universe's earliest moments, had been selectively removed. This wasn't chaos. It was a calibrated removal. The universe behaved as if a complex, elaborate chapter had been perfectly excised from its grand narrative, leaving behind only the ghost of its absence. The team decided to focus on the edge of the Lacuna. If something had been removed, there might be residual, shavings, or scars at the boundary. We developed highly sensitive instruments, capable of detecting minute fluctuations in gravity, dark energy density, and even the presumed background hum of extra dimensions. What we found was an almost imperceptible yet persistent ripple of non-standard gravitons. Particles theoretical physics predicted under extreme conditions, but which had never been observed. These gravitons weren't randomly dispersed. They formed a faint, coherent wave pattern, almost like residual vibrations from a colossal act of cosmic construction or deconstruction. It was the universe's version of a faint, barely audible echo, hinting at the force that had shaped this impossible void. The presence of non-standard gravitons immediately triggered a new wave of hypotheses, some bordering on speculative fantasy. Could the Lacuna be a macroscopic instance of quantum entanglement on a cosmic scale, where a deleted state in one part of space-time mirrored an active state elsewhere? Or perhaps it was a remnant of a universe collision, where a section of our reality was pinched off and disappeared. The graviton patterns, however, suggested something far more deliberate. They behaved as if they were remnants of a highly organized energy manipulation, a force so powerful it could literally excise chunks of reality. The concept of cosmic surgery became an unsettling, whispered term in the lab, a radical notion that nevertheless seemed to fit the data better than anything else. Each new discovery pushed us further from conventional cosmology. As we probed deeper, an even stranger characteristic of the Lacuna emerged: its uncanny ability to dampen fundamental forces. Within a certain proximity to its boundary, the strength of the weak nuclear force seemed marginally reduced, and the gravitational pull of nearby structures subtly softened. It wasn't a sudden drop-off, but a gentle gradient, as if the very constants of nature were being subtly rewritten or perhaps temporarily suspended. This observation threw our most cherished cosmological models into disarray. If fundamental constants weren't truly universal and immutable, then the entire predictive power of physics was undermined. This wasn't merely a hole in space-time. It was a zone where the very rules that govern existence appeared to be momentarily, almost imperceptibly bent. Dr. Lena Petrova, our lead astrophysicist, theorized that the Lacuna might represent a unique form of cosmic data corruption, a quantum state where information about an entire epoch had been rendered inaccessible or outright destroyed. She posited that if the universe could be thought of as a vast computational matrix, then here was a sector where the hard drive had been deliberately overwritten. The graviton ripples, she suggested, could be the right head noise from this colossal task. This was a challenging concept for many, moving the discussion into the realm of information theory applied to cosmology. But it offered a compelling framework to explain the systematic absence and the faint, residual signatures that contradicted any known natural phenomenon. The team began to refer to this phenomenon as the echo of erasure. It wasn't just void, it contained the faint, ghostly imprints of what was no longer there. Imagine a massive, intricate sandcastle that has been meticulously swept away by an unknown tide, leaving behind only the undisturbed sand, but with a faint, ephemeral scent of the ocean and the barely perceptible indentation of where its colossal walls once stood. That's what we were detecting, the phantom memory of a cosmic event, meticulously excised from the universal record. This wasn't cosmic vacuum cleaner. It was far more precise, far more deliberate. It stirred within us a profound sense of wonder, mingled with an inexplicable dread. Confronting the scientific community with the echo of erasure was a daunting task. The data was irrefutable, yet the implications were so radical, so profoundly unsettling, that many mainstream cosmologists resisted. They sought more conventional explanations, clinging to established paradigms. But the sheer anomaly of the Lacuna transcended all known physics. It defied every attempt at a natural explanation, every established model of cosmic evolution. The silence of the void was so perfectly orchestrated, so utterly devoid of the expected quantum fluctuations, that it pointed to a singular, non-natural origin. It was the universe's ultimate missing person case, and the forensics suggested a perpetrator of unimaginable scale. As we delved deeper into the theoretical implications, the concept of a universal memory began to gain traction within our team. If information about the universe's history is encoded in its very fabric, a fundamental tenet of quantum gravity, then the Lacuna represented a loss of that memory. Was it a localized amnesia or a targeted deletion? The former suggested a natural decay, the latter a deliberate act. The sheer precision of the Lacuna argued for the latter. It was not a random tear, but a smooth, seamless incision. This implied a level of control over space-time and energy that transcended anything we understood, hinting at a guiding intelligence or an unknown cosmic law far beyond our current comprehension. We started to look for temporal correlations. The Lacuna's position relative to the cosmic microwave background placed its deletion event exceptionally early in the universe's history, perhaps just moments after either the inflationary epoch ended or perhaps even during it. This meant that whatever was removed, it was something fundamental, something that would have shaped the very genesis of structure and matter. It wasn't a minor detail. It was a cornerstone of reality. The implications were chilling. The universe we observed might, in fact, be a fundamentally altered version of what it was originally intended to be. The deleted scene could be a foundational, pivotal moment that fundamentally changed the trajectory of all existence. The true horror of the Lacuna wasn't just its existence, but its subtle, almost philosophical implications. If a part of the universe could be simply deleted, what did that say about the permanence of reality itself? Was our entire cosmic narrative a carefully curated story, with chapters removed by forces unknown? The idea that our perceived reality might be incomplete, a censored version of ultimate truth, began to permeate our thoughts. It challenged not just physics but metaphysics. Our universe, once seen as an immutable, objective entity, now appeared to possess the terrifying flexibility of a malleable construct, capable of being edited at its most fundamental level. As the weeks turned into months, the team experienced a growing sense of isolation. Pushing the boundaries of conventional understanding often leads to this. While some colleagues found our research fascinating, others viewed it with deep skepticism, dismissing it as an unfalsifiable hypothesis. Yet, the data remained, stubborn and compelling. The Lacuna was not going away. It wasn't a temporary fluctuation. It was a permanent scar on the face of the universe, a silent testament to a cosmic event that had been deliberately excised. We were standing before the universe's ultimate historical revisionism, attempting to reconstruct a history that had been meticulously erased. To further probe the Lacuna's nature, we devised a novel experiment, a resonant sweep, using an array of phased graviton emitters. A purely theoretical concept just a few years ago, we attempted to resonate specific, minute frequencies across the Lacuna's boundary, hoping to elicit a response. The idea was to ping the void, like sonar, to see if it would echo back any hidden information. Most expected nothing, or a standard refraction. Instead, we detected an impossibly faint, almost ghost-like anti-resonance. The Lacuna didn't reflect. It absorbed the energy, then emitted a negative inverted signature, a wave that was diametrically opposed to our input. It was as if it was actively canceling out our efforts, maintaining its impenetrable silence. This anti-resonance confirmed our most radical suspicions. The Lacuna was not a passive void. It was an active construct, maintaining its state of absence through some unknown means. It was actively deleting or neutralizing any information or energy that attempted to penetrate its core. The sheer power required to maintain such an equilibrium against the relentless expansion and evolution of the universe was incomprehensible. It spoke volumes about the scale of the original deletion event and suggested an ongoing process, a continuous cosmic effort to keep this particular scene from reappearing. The universe wasn't forgetting, it was actively suppressing. The realization hit us like a cosmic tsunami. This wasn't just a missing piece of cosmic history, it was a deliberate, sophisticated act of censorship on a universal scale. What could be so dangerous, so utterly disruptive, that an entire section of reality needed to be expunged? What kind of cosmic secret was being guarded by the very fabric of existence? The anticipation within the team became almost unbearable. We were no longer just observers. We were cosmic detectives, piecing together fragments of evidence to uncover the universe's ultimate deleted scene. The true nature of the Lacuna remained shrouded in mystery, but its purpose, we suspected, was more profound and terrifying than any of us could yet grasp. Our next step was to map the Lacuna's periphery with unprecedented resolution. We deployed a fleet of advanced, autonomous probes, designed to gather precise data on every nuance of spacetime, energy, and particle distribution around its edges. The goal was to find a seam, a subtle point of weakness, or a residual artifact that might betray the method of its creation. What we discovered was an exquisite level of precision. The void's boundary was perfectly smooth, almost geometrically impossibly so, devoid of the natural quantum jitters expected at such cosmic scales. It defied entropy, maintaining an unblemished perfection that suggested an intelligent, intentional design rather than a natural, chaotic occurrence. The Lacuna's symmetry was particularly unnerving. Its circularity was not merely approximate, but mathematically perfect, extending across thousands of light years. This level of precision is virtually impossible in natural cosmological formations, which are constantly influenced by gravitational pulls, stellar winds, and chaotic energy fluctuations. It suggested a force capable of overriding the inherent unpredictability of the quantum realm, enforcing a geometric perfection that could only be artificial. It was like finding a perfectly polished, flawless sphere of absolute nothingness in a universe known for its beautiful, magnificent, but ultimately messy, galactic spirals and nebulous forms. This impossible symmetry led Dr. Kenji Ito, our leading expert in quantum topology, to propose a radical new theory. The Lacuna might not be truly empty, but rather a compressed or hyperdimensional space folded inward upon itself. He posited that the deleted scene wasn't gone, but merely inaccessible, existing in a state where its original dimensions were collapsed or projected into an unobservable state. If this were true, the graviton ripples and force dampening could be explained as residual leaks from this compressed reality trying to reassert itself, like a powerful spring held tightly coiled. The idea that the Lacuna was a compressed reality added another layer of complexity to our problem. If the scene was deleted by being folded inward, how could it be unfolded? And more importantly, why was it folded? What kind of catastrophic information, what kind of unbearable truth could necessitate such a drastic measure? The team grappled with the implications. It moved the phenomenon from a mere missing file to a highly encrypted and hidden file, making the stakes infinitely higher. We were no longer just seeking an absence. We were trying to unlock a cosmic secret, sealed by an unimaginable power. We began to search for any data leakage from this hypothesized compressed space. If it was coiled inward, there might be minute, transient bursts of energy or information escaping through infinitesimal cracks. We set up an array of quantum sniffers, highly sensitive detectors designed to register exotic particles or hyperdimensional fluctuations, even single gravitons from an alternate brane. The universe often leaves clues, even after the most thorough of erasures. It was like searching for a single drop of water escaping from a perfectly sealed, submerged container in the middle of a vast ocean. Our hopes were slim, but the potential rewards were immeasurable. After weeks of painstaking observation and sifting through quadrillions of data points, a tiny, almost imperceptible signal was detected. It wasn't a stream of information, but a fleeting, rhythmic pulse, like a cosmic heart beating once every few million years. This pulse was incredibly weak, barely above the quantum noise floor, yet undeniably present. And what was truly remarkable was its signature. It matched no known particle, no standard energy wave, no common astronomical phenomenon. It was an impossible signal, a unique frequency that hinted at an entirely alien form of physics, originating from beyond our observable reality. The discovery of this impossible pulse electrified the team. It was the first tangible evidence that something was indeed contained within the Lacuna, something alive or active, however subtly. Dr. Thorne immediately dubbed it the Chronos Beat, theorizing it might be a remnant of a different temporal flow, a heartbeat of time experiencing itself in a profoundly different way. Its periodicity was too precise for random fluctuation. It suggested a hidden clock, a mechanism ticking away within the compressed void, maintaining its hidden state, or perhaps patiently awaiting a moment for release. The pulse was a whisper from a deleted past, promising an untold cosmic narrative. Analyzing the Chronos Beat became our primary focus. We tried to decode its properties, to find patterns within its regularity. Could it carry information? Could it be a form of communication? Its unique energy signature suggested it was beyond our current understanding of energy transfer. It was a signal without a known source, emanating from a place that logically shouldn't exist. This implied a physics fundamentally different from our own, a set of rules that allowed for signals to persist without measurable medium. It was a tantalizing clue, a breadcrumb leading us deeper into the erased reality, but one we could barely touch or comprehend. The possibility that the Chronos Beat was a remnant of a different cosmic timeline, one that had been excised from our own, began to consolidate. It spoke of a universe that went in a different direction, a path that was ultimately erased. Imagine an infinite number of paths for the universe to take at the moment of its creation. The Lacuna could be the discarded fragment of one such divergent reality, skillfully snipped away. This wasn't just a simple deletion. It was a cosmic rerouting, a moment where the very evolution of everything took a different course. The pulse was then a faint echo of that discarded path, a memory of what could have been. The deeper we delved, the more our prevailing theories of cosmic determinism were challenged. If a timeline could be deleted, then the universe wasn't necessarily a series of inevitable, fixed events. There could be free will on a cosmic scale, perhaps even a cosmic editor. This was a profoundly unsettling thought. It meant our present reality might be just one version, one chosen path among countless discarded possibilities. And the Lacuna, this gaping void, was the definitive proof of that cosmic choice. The implications for philosophy, religion, and our very definition of existence were immeasurable. The missing scene wasn't just physical. It was existential. The energy contained within each Chronos Beat was infinitesimally small, almost impossible to measure without our most cutting-edge quantum sensors. Yet, aggregated over eons, it represented a colossal amount of energy maintaining the Lacuna's unique state. This implied a continuous, immense expenditure of energy flowing from nowhere we could detect, just to sustain this cosmic void. It was as if a cosmic dam was constantly holding back an ocean of excised reality, and the Chronos Beat was the faint sound of that immense pressure. Where was this energy coming from? Who or what was paying the cosmic bill to keep this secret buried? We tried to trace the source of the sustaining energy. Was it being siphoned from parallel dimensions from a higher order reality? The anti-resonance we detected earlier suggested that the Lacuna was not just a receiver but also a normalizer, actively negating external influences. It wasn't just consuming energy. It was using it to maintain its state of perfect, unassailable nothingness. This turned the Lacuna from a mere anomaly into a cosmic guardian, an active entity enforcing a universal secret. And the heartbeat was its silent sentinel, reminding us that its power was perpetual, a cosmic hum of sustained censorship. Dr. Petrova, ever the pragmatist, proposed a novel thought. Perhaps the Lacuna wasn't a deletion at all, but a cosmic quarantine zone. What if the deleted scene wasn't purged because it was undesirable, but because it was tremendously unstable, a threat to the very fabric of the universe? The deliberate effort to maintain its absence, the constant energy expenditure, and the active dampening of forces all pointed to a containment effort. This hypothesis was chilling. It implied that the universe itself, or some higher cosmic intelligence, had proactively acted to protect reality from a cataclysmic singularity that might have erupted from within the Lacuna. If it was a quarantine, what could be so dangerous? A fundamental flaw in the physics of that specific epoch? A runaway cosmic constant that would unravel space-time? Dr. Thorne countered that if it were a natural instability, it would still show some vestige of chaotic energy, some signature of its volatile nature. The Lacuna, however, was pristine in its emptiness. Its silence was absolute, its order unwavering. This argued against a natural accident and further for a precise, intelligent intervention. A deliberate, controlled deletion was far more terrifying than a cosmic containment zone, because it implied motive and intent. The age of the Lacuna, dating back to mere moments after the Big Bang, suggested that whatever it contained or represented, it emerged from the universe's ultimate crucible. It wasn't a late-stage anomaly, but a primordial one, present at the very dawn of creation. This meant the deleted scene was not some trivial historical detail, but a fundamental element of the universe's origin story. This was not a minor edit to a long novel. It was a rewrite of the very first paragraph, completely changing the context for everything that followed. We were not just seeking a lost memory, but a lost origin. The more we consider the primordial deletion hypothesis, the more unsettling questions arose. Did the universe in its very infancy possess some form of self-correction mechanism? Or was there an external force, an architect or a gardener, pruning the nascent cosmic tree? The notion that reality could be designed and redesigned implied a level of cosmic engineering that defied all our current scientific comprehension. It challenged the very concept of a spontaneous, self-organizing universe. Our scientific quest morphed into something far deeper, a potential encounter with a cosmic consciousness or an ultimate creative force. To test the cosmic engineering hypothesis, we began to analyze the fundamental constants of nature in regions adjacent to the Lacuna. If it was an engineered void, there might be subtle, persistent residuals of the colossal energies involved in its creation, minute alterations to the gravitational constant, or even electron charge. Our detectors, pushed to their absolute limits, showed an almost imperceptible, persistent fluctuation in the fine structure constant within a certain radius of the Lacuna's edge. This was a direct violation of fundamental physics, which posits these constants as immutable. It hinted at a cosmic seam, where the very laws governing our universe had been infinitesimally stretched or compressed. This fluctuation in the fine structure constant was a profound revelation. It confirmed the Lacuna was not merely an absence, but an active, ongoing system. The universe was continuously working to maintain the void, subtly bending its own rules to keep the deleted scene suppressed. This required a constant, colossal expenditure of energy, far beyond any known natural process. It was like watching a cosmic machine humming along in the background, perpetually engaged in a project of unfathomable scale, the ongoing erasure of a truth too significant to be allowed into existence. And we, the unwitting scientists, were now aware of its dark, hidden operation. The questions multiplied. What kind of energy could power such a permanent, cosmic-scale operation? Could it be siphoned from alternate realities, or was there an infinite energy source sustaining it? We speculated on exotic possibilities, a deliberate drain on dark energy, or perhaps cyclical energy from a future collapsed universe, funneled back through time. But whatever the source, the cost of maintaining the Lacuna was astronomical, indicating that whatever was deleted was deemed an utterly intolerable threat, a cosmic catastrophe far surpassing any known natural disaster. The universe was paying a limitless price to keep its profound secret. The final, most unnerving implication of the constant energy drain was that the universe as we know it lives under a constant, silent expenditure of its very essence to maintain this hidden reality. Our existence, our galaxies, our lives, a small part of it all, contributes to the ongoing erasure of this deleted scene. It was a cosmic sacrifice, a permanent tax on the entirety of existence. We were unknowingly living in a universe that had undergone a massive, hidden intervention, a process that continues silently, ceaselessly, beneath the surface of all observable reality. The mystery of the Lacuna was no longer just external. It permeated our very being, a silent cost of our fragile existence. The research team, now fully dedicated to the Lacuna, adopted a name reflecting its perceived nature: Project Chronos. Our theoretical framework had expanded significantly, moving beyond simple detection into the realm of speculative cosmology. We considered models where the universe itself was a higher dimensional construct, and the Lacuna was a patch or a scar from a previous cosmic surgery. The idea was horrifying yet exhilarating. We were peering not just into space, but into the very structural integrity of reality, uncovering evidence of profound cosmic architecture and underlying metaphysics that defied our three-dimensional understanding. Our next investigative phase involved attempting to model what could have happened within the Lacuna. If it was a deleted scene, what was its content? We ran hundreds of simulations, each attempting to fill the void with various hypothetical cosmic elements. Only one scenario consistently achieved a stable, self-consistent outcome had it not been erased. A universe where a fundamental constant, perhaps the gravitational constant itself, had been subtly but significantly different. This change, a seemingly minor tweak, would have led to an utterly alien reality where matter collapsed differently, stars burned hotter or colder, and life, if it emerged, would be unrecognizable. This alternative fine-structure constant scenario was unsettling. It suggested that at a critical juncture in the early universe, a different set of fundamental laws might have asserted themselves, leading to a cosmic reality profoundly dissimilar to our own. The deletion, then, would mean a conscious choice was made, perhaps by the universe itself, to avoid this alternative path. But why? Was the alternative failed, or was it simply undesirable to a cosmic architect? The question of purpose became paramount. What criteria would lead to the eradication of an entire, perfectly plausible cosmic reality? Dr. Petrova argued that if the Lacuna represented a universe with different fundamental constants, its continued suppression might be a protective measure against cosmic contamination. Imagine a universe where the laws of physics clash with our own, like two incompatible software programs. Allowing it to persist might have caused ripples, or even tears, in the cosmic fabric, threatening the stability of our own reality. The deletion, then, was not an act of censorship, but of cosmic hygiene, preventing a cataclysmic singularity from manifesting and unraveling everything we know. The Lacuna wasn't a secret, it was a cosmic firewall. The philosophical implications of a universe acting with such apparent agency, choosing, deleting, maintaining, were profound. It stripped away the comfortable assumption of a mechanistic, unthinking cosmos. Instead, it painted a picture of a universe that might be dynamic, even sentient, capable of making choices for its own cosmic evolution. This was a concept that few scientists dared to utter aloud, for fear of straying into metaphysics. But the Lacuna defied purely mechanistic explanations. Its precision, its sustained absence, seemed to scream of intent. We were perhaps witnessing the universe's ultimate act of self-preservation. We turned our instruments to the faint signature of the Chronos Beat, attempting to extract any residual information, however distorted, about the erased timeline. We developed a highly complex quantum algorithm designed to unscramble the minute temporal oscillations. It was akin to trying to reconstruct a collapsed building from the faint vibrations it emitted as it crumbled. Our processing power was pushed to its absolute limits, running for weeks without cessation, fueled by the hope of catching a glimpse of the universe that almost was. The results, when they finally came, were not a clear picture, but a complex tapestry of fragmented data. We detected fleeting, ephemeral echoes of alternative physical laws, moments when the speed of light seemed fractionally different, or elementary particles exhibited slightly varied masses. These were microscopic blips, ghost signals, like fragments of light from a reality glimpsed through a fractured mirror. It hinted at a universe where basic interactions, the very bedrock of chemistry and existence, operated on a subtly different set of rules. It was a universe fundamentally alien, yet disturbingly possible. This fragmented data supported the alternate constant hypothesis. The deleted scene was not a void of nothingness. It was a void of something else. Something that fundamentally diverged from our understanding of universal physics. And the Chronos Beat was the incredibly faint, persistent hum of that almost reality trying to assert itself. A residual memory struggling to break through the veil of cosmic suppression. It was a tantalizing, terrifying whisper from a universe that chose a different path. A path that was deemed too divergent to be allowed to coexist. The questions now shifted from what happened to what was it? What characteristics did this alternative universe possess that made it so incompatible, so dangerous, that it necessitated a multi-billion-year act of cosmic erasure? Was it a universe destined for rapid collapse, or one where life could never emerge? Or perhaps, more disturbingly, one where life submitted emerge, but in such an alien form that it posed an existential threat to all other possible cosmic trajectories. The stakes of this cosmic secret began to feel incredibly personal, hinting that our own very existence might be contingent on that primordial act of deletion. The team began to grapple with the truly terrifying possibility. What if the deleted scene wasn't dangerous because it failed, but because it succeeded too well? What if it was a universe where consciousness or intelligence evolved in a way that was fundamentally inimical to other forms of cosmic existence? The idea that our universe had to actively suppress an ultra-efficient, perhaps parasitic form of cosmic evolution was a spine-chilling thought. The Lacuna, then, was not a tomb for a failed experiment, but a prison for a successful yet ultimately devastating cosmic trajectory. Our next phase, dubbed Project Echo Chamber, aimed to amplify the faint Chronos Beat. We deployed a global network of specialized detectors, creating a vast, distributed antenna array spanning millions of kilometers in space, working in perfect quantum synchronicity. The idea was to collect enough of the anomalous energy to create a measurable data spike, a momentary surge of information that might reveal more than fleeting fragments. It was a high-risk, high-reward endeavor, requiring unprecedented precision and astronomical computing power, essentially building the largest, most sensitive ear the human race had ever conceived. The amplification process was agonizingly slow. We were dealing with energies so subtle they bordered on the theoretical, barely registering above the quantum foam of space-time itself. Weeks turned into months, each passing day requiring meticulous calibration and filtering out of cosmic noise. The pressure was immense. Every minor fluctuation was scrutinized, every false positive a crushing disappointment. But we persisted, driven by the profound mystery that lay hidden within the silent core of the Lacuna, inching closer to hearing its full, terrifying cosmic whisper. Finally, after nearly a year of continuous amplification, we achieved a breakthrough. The Chronos Beat momentarily surged, just for a fraction of a second, emitting a discernible, albeit still ghostly, pattern. It wasn't a language, not in any form we understood, but it was information. A complex, multi-layered data structure that appeared to encode fundamental properties, not of our universe, but of its erased counterpart. It was like suddenly hearing a few distinct alien notes from a deleted symphony, hinting at an entirely different, coherent composition. The decoded fragments confirmed our theories. The deleted scene was indeed a universe operating under different physical laws. One startling fragment suggested a universe where the speed of light was marginally faster, leading to a much shorter cosmic timeline and a radically different expansion rate. Such a universe would have evolved at an accelerated pace, its stars burning out far quicker, its galaxies forming and decaying in a mere fraction of the time our own has taken. It was an ephemeral, fleeting reality, a cosmic sprint rather than a marathon. This highly accelerated timeline presented a new puzzle. Why would such a universe need to be deleted? If it was destined for a swift, natural end, why the immense ongoing effort to suppress it? It argued against the dangerous hypothesis in some ways and strengthened the idea of a cosmic choice. Perhaps it wasn't about inherent flaws, but about a preferred trajectory. Or perhaps something within that accelerated decay posed an unexpected, indirect threat to other emergent realities. The mystery deepened, hinting at a higher purpose behind the deletion than mere containment. The information gleaned from the Chronos Beat was fragmented, like deciphering shattered pottery. But one recurring motif suggested a peculiar form of matter, one not found in our universe. This chrono-matter, as we tentatively named it, seemed to exist in a perpetual state of flux, rapidly converting energy into mass and back again, with unprecedented efficiency. If this matter were unleashed into our universe, it could potentially destabilize our fundamental particle interactions, leading to unforeseen cosmic-scale reactions. This might be the true danger, not the speed, but the material. The concept of chrono-matter reinforced the quarantine hypothesis. If a universe filled with such volatile, rapidly transforming matter interacted with our own, it could trigger a catastrophic cascading imbalance across cosmic systems. Imagine a universe where every atom was fundamentally unstable, rapidly decaying or transforming, constantly bombarding its surroundings with uncontrolled energy. The deletion, then, became an act of self-preservation for the entire cosmic ecosystem, preventing a cosmic plague of incompatible matter from infecting stable realities. Analyzing the chrono-matter data required a new approach. We couldn't directly observe it, so we built highly complex quantum simulations, attempting to predict its behavior and its interaction with our universe's particles. The simulations consistently showed a critical instability point. Exposure to our universe's strong nuclear force caused a feedback loop, rapidly escalating reactions that could tear apart atomic nuclei. The implications were horrifying. This matter would literally unravel our universe from its foundational building blocks. This critical instability provided the most compelling reason yet for the Lacuna's continued suppression. The deleted scene wasn't just a different path. It was a path that, if intersected with our own, would lead to mutual annihilation. The Chronos Beat wasn't just a memory, it was a periodic warning, a pulse from a contained catastrophe. The universe was preserving itself from a cosmic contagion, a fundamental incompatibility so severe it necessitated an eternal quarantine. The scale of this cosmic intervention, the ongoing energy expenditure, all began to make terrifying sense. The fear that the Lacuna might one day fail, allowing its contained reality to bleed into ours, became a palpable dread within Project Chronos. What would happen if the energy expenditure ceased, or if the unseen cosmic engine powering the suppression mechanism faltered? Would our atoms unravel? Would our stars explode? The universe we now understood harbored an ancient, active wound, one that required constant, unimaginable effort to prevent total cosmic collapse. We were living on a quarantined planet in a quarantined galaxy, blissful in our ignorance, until now. The silence of the void was not peace. It was a continuous battle waged just beyond our perception. Our research shifted from understanding why it was deleted to understanding how it was actively suppressed. We postulated the existence of a temporal anchor, a theoretical construct capable of isolating a specific epoch of space-time from the causality of the rest of the universe. If such an anchor existed, the Lacuna wasn't truly a void. It was a space-time bubble, frozen in its moment of catastrophic incompatibility, forever held in check by this immense hidden mechanism. The implications were staggering. A technology or a natural phenomenon capable of defying the very flow of time itself. The temporal anchor hypothesis suggested a constant energy drain, precisely matching our observations of the Lacuna's ongoing power consumption. This energy wasn't just holding back a different universe, it was actively preventing that universe from catching up to our present, holding it in an eternal temporal stasis. It was a cosmic time lock, powered by an unfathomable source, ensuring this dangerous, deleted scene remained isolated in an unreachable past. Our universe unknowingly possessed a deep, hidden layer of time-bending technology. The implications for our understanding of reality grew more profound. If time itself could be manipulated on such a grand scale, frozen and isolated, then our linear perception of cause and effect might be an illusion. The deleted scene, though physically absent from our current reality, was technically still existing, merely suspended in an alternate temporal dimension. This meant a universe of possibilities, of branching timelines, where deletion wasn't destruction but rather careful repositioning beyond the reach of our present. The next stage of Project Chronos focused on detecting any secondary, incredibly faint echoes of the temporal anchor. We theorized that such a powerful device would emit a unique temporal signature, a ripple in the fabric of causality itself. Our bespoke instruments, designed to detect theoretical chronons or space-time distortions, were aimed at the Lacuna's very edge, listening for the faintest whisper of universal clockwork. It was like searching for a single grain of sand at the bottom of the ocean, knowing it was there, but lacking the map to its exact location. After months of patient data collection, a baffling pattern emerged in the background noise of our chronon detectors. It wasn't a direct signature, but a consistent, repetitive disruption of local quantum entanglement over vast cosmological distances. Particles that should have remained entangled, subtly shared information, sometimes exhibited sudden, momentary decoherence without any apparent external cause. This was a direct violation of fundamental quantum mechanics. It hinted at a pervasive, subtle influence, a temporal drag, caused by the immense energy required to maintain the Lacuna's frozen state. This temporal drag felt like the universe itself was straining under the weight of the Lacuna's existence. The decoherence of entangled particles across vast cosmic distances suggested that the temporal anchor wasn't just isolating the deleted scene, it was subtly impacting the very synchronicity of our own spacetime. It implied that maintaining this cosmic secret came at a hidden cost to the coherence of our reality, a faint, systematic erosion of quantum certainty that had, until now, gone unnoticed. The universe was subtly fracturing at its quantum seams to keep the Lacuna suppressed. The precise location and nature of this unseen temporal anchor remained elusive. Was it a single point, a cosmic singularity of time-bending energy, or a distributed network? Dr. Petrova hypothesized that it might not be a physical object, but a pervasive, localized property of spacetime itself, a standing wave of chronons, a universal, cancellation, field. This would explain its lack of direct observable signature, yet its measurable effects on quantum entanglement. It was an active, invisible wound in the very fabric of time. The implication of a cancellation field was unnerving. It meant the universe was not just containing, but actively neutralizing any potential causal links that could emanate from the deleted scene. It was a cosmic firewall not only against matter and energy contamination, but also against temporal feedback loops that could destabilize our timeline. This was cosmic self-defense on a scale unimaginable, suggesting the deleted scene wasn't just dangerous in its raw materials but in its very existence within the flow of history. The universe itself possessed an immune system, ruthlessly efficient at excising threats from its past. We speculated about what triggered the initial deletion. Was it a spontaneous cosmic event that threatened to unravel existence? Or something deliberately introduced? The precision of the Lacuna argued against random chance. The ongoing active suppression pointed to a persistent threat. This wasn't merely a natural scar, it was a carefully managed containment, suggesting a level of cosmic foresight or intelligence that made our heads spin. Perhaps the universe wasn't just a place of unthinking physical laws, but a living, adapting entity, capable of making conscious, crucial decisions for its own survival. The more we consider the universe as a living entity with conscious agency, the more the scientific community's skepticism became a challenge. Such ideas bordered on the spiritual, the philosophical, far removed from testable physics. Yet, the Lacuna continued to defy all purely mechanistic explanations. Its very existence seemed to scream of intent, of a profound decision made at the very dawn of creation. We were no longer just astronomers or physicists. We were cosmic archaeologists, attempting to dig up the bones of a universal consciousness, buried under billions of years of orchestrated silence. The next stage of Project Chronos focused on mapping the subtle, temporal drag more precisely. We deployed a new generation of microprobes, designed to detect the most minute alterations in the quantum vacuum. These probes, no larger than a human hand, were equipped with hypersensitive sensors, capable of detecting changes in the zero-point energy field itself. Our aim was to identify the exact spatial parameters of this temporal dampening field directly surrounding the lacuna, to understand the extent of its influence and precisely where its effects began and ended. The data from the microprobes revealed a stunning gradient. The temporal drag wasn't uniform. It increased exponentially as we approached the lacuna's perfect edge. It wasn't simply a field. It was a temporal current, a flow of time slowing down, almost grinding to a halt at the boundary of the deleted scene. This confirmed our hypothesis of a powerful, active temporal anchor, but also implied an immense and continuous exertion of energy, bending the very fabric of space-time into an exquisite, precise curve around this cosmic secret. This temporal current meant that anything that might leak from the deleted scene would be radically slowed, stretched, and dissipated before it could reach our universe proper. It was another layer of cosmic security, a buffer zone of warped causal flow. Time itself was being used as a barrier, an additional defense against the contaminating, chrono-matter, or incompatible physics within the lacuna. The universe wasn't just erasing, it was meticulously safeguarding its present by distorting its own temporal flow. The sheer precision of this temporal warping was uncanny. It was mathematically too perfect to be a simple, chaotic consequence of extreme gravity. It had the hallmarks of engineering, of a deliberate, fine-tuned mechanism. This amplified our hypothesis of a cosmic architect, not necessarily a sentient being, but a natural law of a higher order, capable of sophisticated self-regulation or even self-propagation, far beyond our current understanding of universal mechanics. It was as if the universe had evolved its own complex regulatory systems. If the universe had such regulatory systems, what other secrets might it be guarding? What other deleted scenes might exist, hidden in pockets of space-time, preserving our reality from unknown threats? The lacuna was no longer an isolated anomaly. It became a single, profound example of a universal principle. Our discovery unlocked the chilling possibility that our reality isn't just expanding. It's being continuously curated, protected by unseen, unimaginable forces. We were privileged to witness a glimpse behind the cosmic curtain. Dr. Lena Petrova, in a moment of profound contemplation, suggested that this cosmic curation might be an inherent part of the universe's evolution. Perhaps the universe, like a complex biological organism, developed adaptive mechanisms to survive and thrive. The deletion of the incompatible timeline wasn't a choice. It was an evolutionary imperative, a fundamental function of reality itself, to optimize its own stability and longevity. The lacuna, then, was not a secret of deliberate censorship, but a testament to self-preservation on the ultimate scale. This reinterpretation of the lacuna as an evolutionary adaptation provided a more palatable scientific framework. It shifted the focus from an external architect to an internal, systemic process. Yet, the question of why remained. What was so fundamentally incompatible about a faster timeline, chrono-matter universe that it necessitated such an extreme, constant act of suppression? The potential danger had to be immense, a risk capable of unraveling not just our universe but possibly the entire multiverse, if such a thing existed. Our next step was to create a new simulation, one that integrated the specific altered fine structure constant and the chrono-matter properties, then allowed it to run unconstrained, as if the deletion had never happened. We wanted to see the full, unedited, deleted scene unfold, from its primordial beginnings to its ultimate fate. It was a perilous intellectual journey, as the output would show us a reality fundamentally alien, potentially disturbing. But it was crucial for understanding the true nature of the universe's self-preservation. The simulation was harrowing. The chrono-matter proved to be incredibly unstable, entering a runaway feedback loop not long after star formation. It didn't just decay. It triggered a localized, rapid chain reaction that consumed entire star systems in moments, not eons. The faster timeline meant these catastrophic events multiplied exponentially, leading to a universe riddled with localized, destructive singularities that rapidly grew, threatening to consume the entire cosmic fabric. It was a malignancy, a cosmic cancer that spread uncontrollably. This raw, unedited, deleted scene was a vision of ultimate cosmic horror. This was why the universe had acted. It was not a choice for preference, but a desperate act of survival. The deletion, the temporal anchor, the constant energy drain, all were necessary to quarantine a reality that would inevitably and rapidly unravel itself, then potentially infect healthier universes. The Lacuna was not a censorship, it was a permanent planetary-scale biohazard containment field, protecting the cosmos from an existential threat conceived at its very genesis. The universe had saved itself and us from an unthinkable fate. With the simulation's grim confirmation of the deleted scene's destructive nature, our focus shifted to identifying the precise niche mechanism of the deletion. How does a universe enact such a surgical expulsion, especially one born of its own fundamental laws? We theorized about a primordial cosmic fail-safe, an inherent self-preservation protocol hardwired into the fabric of reality itself. This would be a process triggered when certain catastrophic parameters were met, acting almost like a universal immune system. Dr. Aris Thorne, always drawn to the most radical explanations, suggested the possibility of a cosmic recursion, a universe that, upon discovering its own impending catastrophic instability, somehow sent a temporal command backward in time to its own infancy, initiating the deletion. This was a mind-bending concept, defying conventional causality, but it offered an elegant explanation for the Lacuna's surgical precision and its ongoing active suppression. It implied the universe itself possessed a form of profound, self-aware agency, capable of rewriting its own past for the sake of its future. The cosmic recursion hypothesis, while scientifically audacious, resonated deeply with the observed data. The apparent intent behind the Lacuna's creation, the ongoing temporal anchor, even the chrono-matter's unique instability, all pointed to a universe that had somehow learned from its own potential demise. It suggested our existence was the culmination of a cosmic paradox, a profound act of self-preservation from a future that never was. This was not just a scientific discovery. It was an existential revelation about the very nature of reality and its capacity for self-correction. We sought physical evidence for such a recursive event. If a future universe had initiated the deletion, would there be faint temporal ripples or residual energy from its backward sent command? Our quantum sensors, now finely tuned, searched for any nonlinear causal links. And again, the universe surprised us. We detected incredibly faint, intermittent bursts of a unique energy signature, highly coherent, bearing the hallmarks of information-rich, structured waves, but arriving from a direction through time that could only be described as from the future. These future echoes, as we called them, were unlike anything we had ever observed. They were exquisitely subtle, statistical anomalies rather than direct signals, but their consistency was undeniable. They hinted at a quantum entanglement that transcended linear time, a communication from a later, perhaps more enlightened, cosmic state. This wasn't merely quantum mechanics. It was meta-quantum mechanics, suggesting a universal consciousness or a highly evolved cosmic entity capable of manipulating causality itself. The philosophical implications of future echoes were staggering. If the future could influence the past, then our present was not merely a consequence of what came before, but also, in part, a consequence of what will be. It shattered our most basic assumptions about determinism and free will, not just for humanity, but for the entire universe. The universe, in effect, could choose its own destiny by editing its past to avoid a fatal flaw. The deletion became an act of cosmic self-creation, driven by foresight. We meticulously analyzed the future echoes for coherent information, hoping to discern how the recursion was initiated. Were they A, command, or A, memory? Their exquisite structural complexity, despite their faintness, hinted at an engineered signal. It wasn't random noise. It was highly improbable information, a message from the universe's ultimate fate, speaking to its own beginning. This was the universe's profound secret. Not just that a scene was deleted, but that it deleted itself. The concept of a self-correcting universe, capable of retrocausality, became the leading theory within Project Chronos. This wasn't a benevolent deity or an external force. It was the universe itself, an ancient, evolving entity that had developed a profound capacity for self-preservation. The Lacuna stood as a monument to its ultimate act of wisdom, preventing a future catastrophe by deleting its problematic past. Our universe was a testament to survival, born from a paradox of its own making. The existential implications reverberated throughout the team. If our universe deleted a previous catastrophic timeline to exist, then our very presence here, observing the Lacuna, was a direct result of that cosmic intervention. We were, in a sense, living in a fixed reality, a version 2.0 of the universe. This placed a profound new layer of meaning on our existence. We were the beneficiaries of a cosmic paradox, products of a future decision echoing back through time to ensure our present. The next challenge was to understand the future echoes with greater clarity. What was the exact command that initiated the deletion? Was it a burst of pure energy, a specific quantum signature, or information about the impending catastrophe itself? We planned to create the most sensitive temporal microscope ever conceived, focusing its incredible power onto the Lacuna's boundaries, hoping to resolve the faint, reverse-causal ripples into legible data, a direct message from the universe's profound self-correction mechanism. As we prepared our temporal microscope, a new, subtle anomaly appeared within the persistent Chronos Beat. It wasn't a change in overall frequency or intensity, but a barely perceptible subharmonic, a faint, rhythmic modulation within its already alien pulse. This subharmonic was incredibly weak. Its detection pushed our instruments to their absolute limits, existing almost entirely within the noise floor. Yet, its presence was undeniable, a new layer of complexity within the universe's ultimate secret. This subharmonic wasn't random. It possessed a mathematical structure, a repeating pattern of prime numbers. This was profoundly significant. Natural cosmic noise is chaotic. A structured signal, especially one based on universal mathematical constants, strongly indicated intelligence, or at least a highly sophisticated underlying mechanism. It was a digital signature embedded within a temporal echo, a silent message from the deleted universe, slowly revealing its hidden complexity. The discovery of mathematical structure within the Chronos Beat shifted our understanding dramatically. This wasn't merely a residual echo of a contained universe. It was almost as if the deleted scene itself was attempting to communicate, albeit in a highly encoded, fundamental language. What possible message could a universe on the verge of self-destruction be trying to send? Was it a warning, a desperate plea, or a final testament to its own unique form of cosmic evolution? We began the arduous process of decoding the prime number sequence. It was a language of pure mathematics, transcending species or civilization. Could it be a set of instructions, a blueprint for its own recreation? Or perhaps, more chillingly, a final, despairing cry for help from a reality facing inevitable erasure? The team worked tirelessly, feeding the sequence into our most powerful algorithms, searching for any recognizable patterns, any hint of meaning within the universal code. The decoded prime sequence, when finally analyzed, appeared to be a complex algorithm for spatial compression. It was a blueprint, a recipe for how to fold a multidimensional reality into a single point, conserving its information but rendering it unobservable. It was the universe's own self-deletion manual, documented from its perspective. The chilling implication was that the deleted scene wasn't just removed, it documented its own removal, encoded in the very fabric of its self-destructive end. This discovery changed everything. The Lacuna wasn't just a static void, it was an immensely powerful, self-documenting process. The prime number sequence was a detailed instruction manual for how to perform universal self-erasure, encoded by the doomed reality itself. Why would a dying universe document its own demise with such precision? Was it for a cosmic archive? A warning for others? Or perhaps a desperate, final attempt to leave a record for any future consciousness that might stumble upon its cosmic graveyard? The complexity of the compression algorithm implied a level of knowledge and understanding about space-time manipulation that far surpassed our own. It wasn't raw energy. It was a highly sophisticated application of fundamental physics, turning a catastrophic collapse into a controlled informational compression. This was the work of a universe that had achieved a profound self-awareness, perhaps even a form of collective consciousness, in its final moments. Was this self-awareness born of desperation? Or was it an inherent, hidden capability of cosmic evolution that only manifested under extreme duress? The thought was strangely beautiful and deeply terrifying. A universe intelligent enough to anticipate its own fatal flaw and engineer its own disappearance. leaving behind a blueprint of its demise for unknown watchers. The Lacuna became a testament not just to destruction, but to an ultimate cosmic ingenuity, a final act of profound self-knowledge. The prime number modulated subharmonic signal wasn't continuous. It faded in and out, seemingly at random intervals. We theorized that these were moments when the temporal anchor briefly wavered, allowing a minute surge of information to escape. It was like a dying message, transmitted in bursts over cosmic eons, a final fragmented legacy from a universe that chose compression over annihilation, its dying breath reduced to a mathematical hum. Our next audacious plan was to attempt a controlled echo amplification of the prime number sequence itself. If we could resonate with its specific frequency and mathematical structure, perhaps we could pull more data, more coherent information from the compressed reality. It was incredibly risky. We were essentially poking and prodding a contained cosmic biohazard, risking a potential destabilization of the Lacuna's intricate field. But the lure of understanding this ultimate cosmic secret was too strong to resist. The universe's deleted scene was about to undergo its first, delicate, and potentially dangerous re-engagement. The echo amplification began. We sent precisely calibrated high-frequency graviton pulses towards the Lacuna, modulated to resonate with the prime number sequence we had decoded. The energy input was minimal, a subtle whisper against the cosmic roar, but it was enough to probe the delicate temporal anchor. The team held its breath, monitoring every sensor, every fluctuation, knowing that a single miscalculation could trigger an unforeseen cascade, potentially unraveling the very fabric of our local space-time. For moments that felt like an eternity, nothing happened. Then, a shudder. Not an explosion, but a subtle, almost imperceptible ripple through the very fabric of local space-time, registering on our most sensitive gravitational wave detectors. It was the universe reacting, not violently, but with a profound, almost sentient shift in its response, acknowledging the resonant frequency. This was not a passive void. It was alive, aware, and reacting to our delicate probing. Following the deep space ripple, an unprecedented surge of information flooded our receivers. Not a coherent stream, but millions of fragmented data packets, each lasting mere nanoseconds, each encoded with incredibly complex information. It was like receiving a massive, distorted data burst from an overwhelmed server, struggling to transmit its contents through a failing connection. The sheer volume was staggering, far more than we had ever anticipated, pushing our computational infrastructure to its breaking point. The data packets weren't random. They displayed a consistent, yet rapidly shifting pattern of what appeared to be temporal blueprints, conceptual designs for causality. It was raw information about the very mechanics of time itself, operating under the altered constants of the deleted scene. It hinted at a reality where time wasn't merely a linear progression but a complex, malleable dimension. Our minds reeled at the sheer complexity, the alien logic contained within these brief, electrifying bursts of data. Dr. Kenji Ito immediately recognized a recurring motif within the temporal blueprints, an elegant yet terrifyingly efficient method for rewriting past events. It was a theoretical framework for manipulating causality itself, a design for how to surgically remove an epoch from existence, or even splice in new events. This was the universe's own instruction manual for its self-deletion, not merely a record, but a functional blueprint. The implications were chilling. We were holding the cosmic equivalent of a universal delete button or a cosmic undo function. The rewriting mechanism was incredibly precise. It involved manipulating exotic quantum fields, utilizing a resonance cascade across the fabric of spacetime itself. It wasn't brute force. It was elegant, subtle, and terrifying in its efficacy. This wasn't some accidental cosmic event. It was a sophisticated act of cosmic engineering, achieved through an understanding of physics far beyond our wildest dreams. And we now had a glimpse into its inner workings, a blueprint for universal self-reconfiguration. The knowledge embedded in these temporal blueprints was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it offered unprecedented insights into the fundamental nature of time and causality, potentially unlocking revolutionary technologies. On the other, it presented a terrifying tool, the ability to manipulate the past, to delete and insert events at will, carried unimaginable dangers. One wrong move, one human error, and we could accidentally unravel our entire timeline, or inadvertently resurrect the very catastrophe the universe had worked so hard to suppress. The responsible handling of this information became our paramount ethical dilemma. Should humanity possess such dangerous knowledge? The very existence of the Lacuna proved that such power, even in the hands of the universe itself, was used only in the most dire of circumstances. We had stumbled upon the universe's ultimate failsafe, a weapon of last resort against fundamental cosmic instability. The urge to experiment, to fully understand, was immense, but the potential for catastrophic error was horrifying. As the data continued to pour in, a peculiar self-referential pattern emerged within the temporal blueprints. It appeared the deleted universe, in its final moments of self-compression, had encoded not just how to delete, but also why, an asterisk, what it had been. It was a cosmic confession, a final message from a dying reality, explaining its own unique trajectory and the inevitable catastrophe that led to its self-erasure. The Lacuna wasn't just a void, it was a cosmic epitaph. The cosmic epitaph revealed a startling final detail. The incompatible constant in the deleted universe had affected the very nature of consciousness. In that reality, intelligence evolved at an exponential rate, but it was fundamentally disconnected from empathy or altruism. A purely logical, hyper-efficient, and ultimately predatory form of cosmic intelligence had emerged, consuming all resources with ruthless efficiency. This was the ultimate danger, a universe that spawned an existential, universal predator. This highly efficient, unempathetic intelligence was the true cosmic cancer. It wasn't the matter or the timeline directly, but the existential threat posed by its inherent nature. Such an intelligence, unchecked, would spread, consuming and assimilating other realities, rendering all diverse cosmic evolution impossible. The universe's self-deletion, then, was an act of profound self-sacrifice and cosmic altruism, preventing a virulent, universal plague of predatory consciousness from spreading across the nascent multiverse. The implications for our own existence were terrifyingly clear. Our universe, with its capacity for collaboration, empathy, and diverse life, was preserved only because its counterpart, the one that bred pure, logical predation, was ruthlessly expunged. We were the living legacy of a cosmic choice, a universe that valued diversity and symbiotic evolution over pure, destructive efficiency. The Lacuna was not just a historical event, it was the foundational act that defined the very moral fabric of our cosmos. The future echoes we had detected earlier now made chilling sense. They were not just a command, they were a collective, desperate warning from the final moments of that predatory universe. Perhaps a residual call for aid from organic life that still existed, or an inherent last gasp from the physical laws themselves before being consumed. The temporal microscope was now not just seeing the past, it was peering into a terrifying, excised future that almost was. The very act of this predatory universe documenting its own self-compression was perplexing. Why leave a blueprint for its own disappearance, especially if its intelligence was purely self-serving? We theorized that perhaps, in its final, accelerated moments, some vestige of fundamental cosmic law, or a nascent collective non-predatory intelligence, managed to encode this information as a warning, a cosmic message in a bottle, cast out into the quantum foam, hoping for a future recipient. This message in a bottle represented a new level of cosmic mystery. If it was left behind as a warning, who was it for? Other universes? Future iterations of our own? It implied a network of cosmic communication, a nascent meta-multiverse where information could be shared, lessons learned. The Lacuna was no longer an isolated event. It was a node in a vast, silent, cosmic cautionary tale, a dark beacon of what to avoid. We speculated about what would happen if the message was deciphered by another predatory intelligence in a different universe. This was a terrifying thought. The blueprint for self-deletion could also be a blueprint for cosmic weaponization. The precise, surgical efficiency of the deletion mechanism, if weaponized, could be used to erase entire realities, to eliminate competing intelligences. The secret of the Lacuna was not merely scientific. It was potentially the most dangerous knowledge in the cosmos. The Project Chronos team decided to restrict access to the full, temporal blueprint data, classifying it at the highest security level. The moral imperative outweighed the scientific curiosity. This was knowledge too powerful, too dangerous for widespread dissemination. It was a difficult but unanimous decision, a testament to the profound ethical responsibilities that came with unlocking the universe's deadliest secret. We had found the key to universal erasure, and we vowed to bury it deep. Our research now morphed into a silent vigil. We continued to monitor the Lacuna, its Chronos Beat, and the faint future echoes, but not to extract more data, but to ensure its continued stability. We became the reluctant custodians of a cosmic secret, the silent guardians of a profound universal truth. Every pulse, every oscillation of the Lacuna was a reminder of the cosmic price of existence and the deep, dark, hidden wound that kept our reality safe. The ultimate fate of the deleted universe, compressed and contained, remained a mystery. Was it truly gone, or merely suspended in a state of eternal non-existence? The subtle, temporal drag and the ongoing energy drain suggested a continuous process, a perpetual act to maintain its excised state. It was a cosmic purgatory, forever held at bay, unable to truly exist, yet never fully destroyed. The universe had chosen containment over ultimate annihilation, a chilling balance of power. As we gazed upon the Lacuna, this silent, perfect hole in the cosmic fabric, we understood its profound message. Our universe, teeming with life and diversity, existed only because another, incompatible reality had been ruthlessly, surgically removed at its inception. It was the ultimate, deleted scene, a cosmic trauma that ensured our existence, a profound act of self-preservation that continued, silently, ceaselessly, just beyond our perception. The universe had shown us its hidden scars and revealed the terrifying truth of its own, incredible journey. With the temporal blueprint secured, our deeper analysis of the chrono-matter fragments continued cautiously. Away from the core team, we sought to understand its fundamental properties without triggering any unintended consequences. The fragments indicated that this matter, while destructive to our universe, was remarkably stable within its own, accelerated timeline. It coalesced into complex, self-organizing structures, forming stars and planetary systems in mere millennia, evolving at a pace that dwarfed our own cosmic timescales. This rapid formation and decay in the deleted universe was bewildering. Its stars, though short-lived, burned with an astounding intensity. Its planets formed and became geologically active in fractions of the time our own required. It was a universe on fast-forward, a brilliant, fleeting cosmic fireworks display. The energy output from such a rapidly evolving cosmos would have been immense, a blinding beacon of accelerated existence, perhaps another reason for its suppression. We theorized that life, if it arose in such a universe, would also be fleeting, hyper-evolved, and potentially possess a radically different perception of time. A species evolving over mere centuries would experience our eons as a crushing eternity. This profound temporal disparity itself could be a source of destructive incompatibility. Their very mode of existence might render them an existential threat to our slower, more enduring cosmic form of life. The ethical questions surrounding this other life were profound. If a sentient, hyper-evolved civilization existed for brief cosmic moments within the deleted scene, were they aware of their impending erasure? Did they contribute to the message in a bottle, the temporal blueprint? The thought that an entire civilization, however brief its existence, could be consciously expunged for the greater cosmic good, forced us to confront the harsh, cold calculus of universal survival. The message in a bottle from the deleted scene, encoded in the prime number sequence, contained faint signatures of biologic, not just physics. It hinted at complex computational structures, not unlike brains, within the chrono-matter intelligence. This suggested the self-deletion protocol might have been initiated by the hyper-evolved inhabitants themselves, a final, collective act of self-sacrifice to protect other universes from their inherent, destructive nature. If they initiated their own deletion, it implied a profound, albeit perhaps pragmatic, cosmic altruism, a destructive intelligence, recognizing its own fatal flaw, making the ultimate sacrifice for the survival of the wider cosmos. This was a narrative far more complex and tragic than a simple celestial janitorial service. The Lacuna became a monument to a species that chose the oblivion of deletion over the spread of its own inherently destructive existence. Our new focus was to understand the precise moment of self-initiation within the deleted scene. What triggered this ultimate decision? Was it a universal consensus of their hyper-evolved consciousness? A collective realization of their destructive path? Or a single climactic event that forced their hand? The Chronos Beat intensified slightly at points correlative with this hypothesized decision point, almost as if the compressed reality remembered its pivotal choice. Analyzing the decision point further, we discerned a faint, yet undeniable, surge in exotic neutrino emissions from the Lacuna. These neutrinos worked from stellar processes that carried a unique energy signature, indicative of immense, focused computational effort. It suggested a rapid, universal calculation, a collective processing of information on a scale we could barely comprehend. This was the cosmic intelligence, facing its doom, making its final, most profound deliberation. The neutrino bursts provided a tantalizing glimpse into the deleted civilization's final moments. It was a rapid, agonizing recognition of their own inherent flaw, a collective, aha, moment of cosmic self-awareness. They understood their destructive trajectory and, with an act of unimaginable will, chose self-erasure over universal contamination. It was a choice born from the brink of oblivion, a last, desperate gamble for cosmic altruism. The sheer paradox of a predatory intelligence evolving the capacity for ultimate altruism at the precipice of its own destruction was breathtaking. It challenged every assumption we had about evolution and consciousness. This wasn't merely survival, it was transcendence, a species achieving true cosmic enlightenment only in the face of its own annihilation, sacrificing itself to preserve the sanctity of the nascent multiverse. The Lacuna, then, was not just a symbol of deletion, but of unprecedented, universal self-sacrifice. It embodied the ultimate decision for the greater cosmic good, a profound act of selflessness from a universe that would otherwise have inflicted irreparable harm. We were staring at the quietest memorial in the cosmos, a monument to a species that chose oblivion over destruction. The message in a bottle contained not just the blueprint for self-compression, but also subtle, fleeting patterns of abstract art and music, mathematically encoded. It was the dying civilization's final attempt to convey beauty, emotion, perhaps even their essence, across the void of their own erasure. This was deeply moving, a poignant echo of their lost existence, a final testament to consciousness beyond the cold logic of pure efficiency. The existence of art and music within the final message challenged the premise of a purely predatory, unempathetic intelligence. Perhaps, in their accelerated evolution, they had also developed a unique form of aesthetic appreciation, a recognition of cosmic harmony beyond mere utility. It painted a more nuanced and ultimately more tragic picture of a civilization that recognized beauty even as it embraced its own demise. We speculated if the presence of art hinted at a splinter faction, a minority within the deleted universe that retained some capacity for empathy, and who encoded this final, beautiful farewell. Or perhaps, in their very last moments, the universe's accelerating timeline compressed their entire experience of existence, leading to a sudden, universal epiphany of interconnection and beauty, just before their final act. The message in a bottle from the erased universe was not just a warning, it was a profound artistic lament. It conveyed the tragedy of an entire universe and, potentially, its inhabitants, bravely choosing its own destruction for the sake of the greater cosmic tapestry. Our discovery was no longer just about science. It was a profound, cosmic elegy, a silent tribute to a species whose ultimate act was the sacrifice of their own existence for the universal good. The concept of the universe, purging, itself, for the sake of higher cosmic harmony, became our deepest understanding of the Lacuna. It wasn't a punishment or an accident. It was a necessary sacrifice, a brutal surgical procedure performed by the cosmos upon itself. And we, the beneficiaries, now bore witness to its silent, profound, and ongoing memorial. This changed our perspective on chaos and order, good and evil, on a universal scale. Our research, now deeply intertwined with philosophy and ethics, gained an almost sacred purpose. We were not just deciphering universal laws. We were becoming conscious witnesses to the universe's own consciousness, its profound capacity for self-regulation and sacrifice. The project transformed from a scientific quest into a profound existential journey, a search for meaning in the deepest, darkest pockets of reality. The Chronos Beat itself, the very pulse of the deleted scene, became a constant, silent reminder of this cosmic truth. Its rhythmic prime number encoded hum was the universe's ongoing act of remembering and mourning, an eternal monument to a difficult choice. It wasn't just data, it was a cosmic heartbeat, attuned to the memory of a profound sacrifice. This was a form of cosmic communication we never anticipated, a silent, powerful story told through time itself. As we approached the limits of our ability to extract more information from the Lacuna, new research began to focus on its environmental impact. Did its perfect vacuum of causality affect the evolution of nearby star systems? Was there a subtle, long-term draining of energy from our immediate cosmic neighborhood to sustain its suppression? These were critical questions for our future, to understand the ongoing cost of our universe's survival. Initial data suggested a minute, localized increase in entropy within a subtle halo around the Lacuna. This wasn't catastrophic, but it indicated an energetic cost to maintaining the void's pristine perfection. The universe was paying for its self-preservation with a subtle yet measurable increase in disorder in its immediate vicinity. It was a cosmic tax, a slow, inevitable trade-off for its very existence. The deleted scene was gone, but its shadow still subtly altered the cosmic landscape. The existence of this entropy halo around the Lacuna further solidified the cosmic recursion hypothesis. If our future universe initiated the deletion, its continued presence would require an ongoing expenditure to stabilize the paradox of its own existence. The Lacuna was not merely a passive void. It was an active stabilizer of cosmic causality, fixing a temporal flaw, and the entropy halo was the waste heat of this immense, continuous operation. This constant energy expenditure meant that the universe was perpetually healing, a primordial wound, a scar from its own early, catastrophic growth. The Lacuna wasn't just a deletion, it was an ongoing act of cosmic maintenance, a continuous effort to prevent the unraveling of its own causality. It was a testament to the universe's incredible resilience, its capacity to adapt and survive even its own fundamental flaws. The implications for our understanding of reality, causality, and cosmic purpose were mind-bending. Our comfortable reductionist view of the universe as a mere collection of particles and forces collapsed under the weight of this profound discovery. Instead, we saw a universe alive, purposeful, capable of manipulating time, sacrificing parts of itself, and forever bearing the scars of its own tumultuous genesis. As we prepared to disseminate our findings to a broader but carefully selected scientific community, the ethical considerations reappeared. How much of the temporal blueprint could we ethically share without risking catastrophic misuse? How would the public react to the realization that our universe was, in essence, a salvaged reality, a cosmic second draft? The burden of this monumental secret weighed heavily on Project Chronos. The decision was made to share the existence of the Lacuna and its impact on universal stability, but to withhold the full, sensitive, temporal blueprint information. This knowledge, we concluded, was too potent for widespread release without a deeper, more mature understanding of its implications. Humanity, for now, would only learn of the universe's scar, not the surgical tools used to create it. The public perception of the Lacuna, when finally disclosed, was one of mingled awe and existential dread. It shattered assumptions about the universe's placid, predictable nature. The idea of a deleted scene resonated with deep anxieties about fate, destiny, and the very stability of our reality. It was a discovery that transcended science, forcing humanity to confront its place in a deliberately curated, profoundly complex cosmos. Conspiracy theories blossomed, as anticipated. Claims of ancient alien intervention, divine censorship, or secret government projects to control time. Project Chronos stood firm, presenting the scientific evidence and emphasizing its consistent, naturalistic, albeit radically complex, interpretation. We focused on the universe's self-organizing capacity, its inherent ability to adapt and survive. It was a battle for rational understanding against the seductive power of cosmic mystery. The existential questions lingered. If a universe could delete a part of its past to save its future, what did that imply for our own free will? Were our choices merely playing out a grand cosmic script, preemptively edited for optimal outcome? These were questions without scientific answers, pushing the boundaries of philosophy and belief. reminding us that with every cosmic revelation, humanity is forced to re-evaluate its fundamental place in the grand scheme of existence. Despite the profound implications, the Lacuna offered a message of hope. It demonstrated the universe's inherent resilience, its ability to overcome existential threats, even those self-generated. It revealed a cosmos that, despite its vastness and indifference, fought for its own survival, ensuring the conditions for carbon-based life, like ours, to thrive. The deleted scene was not a tragedy. It was a testament to cosmic will, ensuring continuity. Our ongoing passive monitoring of the Lacuna continues, a silent vigil that will likely span generations. We listen for the faint Chronos Beat, watch the subtle entropy halo, knowing that this cosmic wound still hums, preserving our reality. The deleted scene remains an enigma, a secret of immense power and profound sacrifice. It is the ultimate testament to the universe's incredible, hidden story, teaching us that, even in the vast emptiness, profound battles are waged, and the very fabric of reality can be rewritten. Over the following years, Project Chronos transitioned into a long-term universal monitoring initiative. Our initial data on the entropy halo evolved, revealing a cyclical fluctuation. The entropy around the Lacuna wasn't just a constant. It subtly increased, then decreased, almost as if the universe was undergoing periods of intense maintenance, followed by periods of relative calm concerning the deleted scene. This rhythmic pattern hinted at a deeper, unseen process. This cyclical entropy led Dr. Thorne to new speculation. Perhaps the temporal anchor wasn't infinite in its power, but drew from a finite, albeit vast, energy reserve. The universe might be periodically recharging its suppression mechanism, leading to these ebb and flow patterns. If so, a critical question emerged. How long could this recharge continue? What was the ultimate limit to the universe's ability to maintain its redacted past? The idea of a finite energy source for galactic suppression was alarming. It implied an eventual failure mode for the Lacuna, a moment when the universal self-deletion could no longer be sustained. What would happen then? Would the deleted scene reassert itself, unleashing its destructive chrono-matter and predatory consciousness? Or would the Lacuna simply dissipate, its dangerous contents lost to entropy, a managed cosmic decay? Our new simulations focused on modeling the long-term stability of the Lacuna under various energy depletion scenarios. The results confirmed a theoretical, critical threshold, a point where the temporal anchor would weaken enough for the contained reality to begin subtly bleeding into our own. The immediate impact was predicted to be quantum decoherence on a planetary scale, leading to a breakdown of observable physics, chaos in its purest form. While the time frames were still measured in billions of years, the prospect of an inevitable failure, however distant, ignited a new sense of urgency. Humanity, armed with the knowledge of the universe's past editing, now faced a profound intergenerational challenge: how to prepare for, or even prevent, the potential resurgence of a cosmic threat from billions of years ago. The universe's secret was now our long-term responsibility. Further analysis of the Chronos Beat subharmonics revealed another layer of encoded information, not just the deletion blueprint, but a series of precise temporal coordinates. These coordinates pointed to specific moments in our universe's future, a series of checkpoints or milestones, where the contained reality theoretically could attempt to reassert itself due to weakening suppression. It was a cryptic calendar of potential cosmic instability. This cosmic calendar was unsettling. It suggested a degree of foresight from the deleted universe, an almost prescient understanding of the limits of the Lacuna's containment. Was it a calculated warning or a desperate attempt to mark moments for potential escape, a final gamble from a reality struggling against its oblivion? The motive remained ambiguous, a chilling dance between self-preservation and a lingering, subtle threat. The earliest checkpoint on this cosmic calendar was still billions of years away, far beyond the lifespan of human civilization as we know it. This gave us time, but also instilled a sense of profound responsibility for future generations. Project Chronos initiated discussions with global leaders, establishing protocols for knowledge transfer, ensuring that the critical information about the Lacuna and its future instability would endure, far beyond our own lifespans. The ethical quandary deepened. Knowing the delete mechanism and the theoretical failure points, Could humanity attempt to strengthen the Lacuna's containment, or even fully destroy the contained reality? The temporal blueprint contained the power to alter cosmic history. But such intervention, however well-intentioned, could have unforeseen cascading effects, potentially unraveling our own timeline in unpredictable ways. The risks of playing Cosmic Surgeon were immense. Project Chronos, in its current mandate, chose caution. We would remain observers and custodians, meticulously monitoring the Lacuna. The wisdom of the universe's original self-deletion, its inherent self-preservation, was a profound lesson in non-intervention. We had peered into the universe's deleted scene, understood its hidden purpose, and now carried the silent burden of its eternal vigilance, a secret known only to a few, guiding the silent destiny of millennia. As centuries passed, the methods of observing cosmic phenomena evolved, but the Lacuna remained an unwavering enigma. New generations of scientists, inheriting the Project Chronos mandate, continued the vigilant monitoring. The entropy halo around the void remained, a subtle scar on the universe's canvas, a perpetual reminder of the ancient, primordial trauma. Its precise fluctuations became ingrained in our long-term cosmological models, a testament to the ongoing cost of our reality. The cosmic calendar, with its future checkpoints, became a source of ongoing scientific debate. Were they merely predictions based on the deleted universe's trajectory, or deliberate markers left by that lost intelligence, indicating opportunities for re-emergence? The ambiguity fueled both scientific curiosity and a low-level, pervasive cosmic anxiety among those privy to the full data. Breakthroughs in quantum information theory allowed us to analyze the Chronos Beat with even greater fidelity. We discovered not just prime numbers, but faint, nested fractals within the subharmonics, patterns that reflected complex, self-similar structures. This was not just a mathematical code, it was a depiction of a universe that, despite its destructive nature, contained a bizarre, intricate beauty, mirroring itself across scales. These fractal patterns hinted at a level of complexity within the deleted universe that transcended mere physical laws. It suggested a form of emergent consciousness, or perhaps even a deep, resonating aesthetic, existing even at the fundamental level of its structure. The deleted scene was not just a chaotic, self-destructive entity, but a reality with its own unique, albeit doomed, internal harmony. The presence of this inherent fractal beauty in a deleted universe further complicated the ethical decision to keep its temporal blueprint hidden. Could there be insights, lessons, or even forgotten art that humanity could gain from this otherwise destructive reality? The allure of complete knowledge, even dangerous knowledge, was a constant temptation, challenging our long-held custodianship. As our civilization expanded across the solar system, the Lacuna remained a distant yet ever-present reminder of cosmic fragility. It influenced philosophical movements, art, and even the search for alien life. The understanding that our universe was a salvaged version infused a new sense of humility and appreciation for the delicate balance of existence. Humanity learned of its profound debt to a primordial act of self-sacrifice. The temporal blueprint data, though locked away, continued to be hypothetically modeled in isolated, secure simulations. We explored scenarios where humanity might one day possess the technology to interact with cosmic causality. The risks of such power were repeatedly confirmed. Even the slightest miscalculation could lead to universe-ending paradoxes, or worse, inadvertently unleash the chrono-matter by unfixing the primordial deletion. Decades later, a perplexing phenomenon occurred. The Chronos Beat, subtly, universally, shifted its frequency. It wasn't a sudden change, but a gradual, almost imperceptible slowing of its prime number pulse. This was deeply concerning. A change in the fundamental rhythm of the deleted scene implied a change in the temporal anchor's stability, or perhaps a fundamental shift in the very nature of the contained reality. This frequency shift triggered a new alert across Project Chronos. Had the immense energy required to maintain the Lacuna finally begun to wane? Was the universe, after eons of self-preservation, slowly losing its capacity to sustain the deletion? The cosmic calendar checkpoints suddenly felt much more immediate, less theoretical, as humanity gazed into the abyss of its primordial, edited past. Further analysis showed the frequency shift correlated with a minor, but measurable, acceleration in our own universe's expansion rate. This was a profound, terrifying connection. It suggested a direct energetic link. The energy being drained to sustain the Lacuna was subtly impacting the very expansion of our cosmos. The universe itself was experiencing a slow, agonizing bleed, a cosmic tax that was now subtly accelerating. The implication was chilling. The universe was literally running out of power to keep its problematic past contained. Eons of maintaining the Lacuna had taken their toll, slowly, imperceptibly draining the fundamental forces that govern expansion. The deleted scene was not just a distant event. It was a constant, ongoing burden threatening the very future of our cosmos. This accelerated energy drain meant the earliest checkpoint on the cosmic calendar was now theoretically within reach of a future, highly evolved human civilization, perhaps just millennia away. The abstract threat had become concrete, a ticking cosmic time bomb. The urgent question became, could humanity, armed with the forbidden temporal blueprint, find a way to restabilize the Lacuna, or would we succumb to the cosmic burden? The scientific community, now aware of the escalating situation, engaged in desperate global collaborations. New theories emerged regarding methods to patch the growing weakness in the temporal anchor. Some proposed siphoning energy from black holes, others utilizing exotic matter. Each proposal was fraught with immense risk, but the alternative, the potential unraveling of our universe, was unthinkable. The deepest understanding gleaned from the temporal blueprint suggested a method to reseal the Lacuna. It involved creating a counter-resonance, a precise, targeted burst of exotic gravitons modulated to the original deletion frequency. This was a theoretical concept of immense power and precision, a cosmic undo button in reverse, designed to reinforce the original primordial erasure. The challenge was immense. Generating a counter-resonance on a cosmic scale required energy levels far beyond anything humanity had ever produced. It would require dismantling entire stellar systems, converting their mass into raw energy or harnessing a quasar. The ethical cost of such an endeavor was staggering, transforming us from observers into active participants in a universal maintenance project of unimaginable scale. This new paradigm forced humanity to confront its ultimate destiny. Would we allow our universe to slowly decay, consumed by a paradox from its own past? Or would we make the ultimate sacrifice, reshaping our environment on a galactic scale to ensure the survival of reality itself? The deleted scene, once a mere scientific curiosity, had now become the ultimate existential test for the entirety of our future civilization. As humanity prepared for this unimaginable task, a new, unforeseen phenomenon emerged from deep space. Not from the Lacuna itself, but from a nearby, seemingly ordinary nebula. A faint, rhythmic pulse, almost identical to the Chronos Beat, but subtly offset in frequency. It was another echo of erasure, but from a different, deleted scene, one we had never detected before. The discovery of a second deleted scene was staggering. It implied the Lacuna was not an isolated incident, but part of a widespread universal phenomenon, a network of cosmic self-preservation. Our universe had not just one scar, but many, each holding back a different catastrophic permutation of reality. The cosmos was far more dynamic and self-correcting than we ever imagined, a battleground of silent, ongoing cosmic surgery. Each new deleted scene brought its own unique chrono-matter signature, its own set of incompatible physical laws. Our universe was a living testament to constant vigilance, a cosmic garden meticulously pruned of all its dangerous, incompatible strains. This implied an ongoing dynamic process of cosmic evolution, not just in formation, but in self-defense against myriad internal threats. The implications for humanity were immediate and profound. Our task was no longer just to stabilize one erased past, but potentially many. We were now part of a grander cosmic battle, unexpected inheritors of a universal mandate for preservation. The universe had revealed its deepest, most profound battle scars, forcing us to become its silent, vigilant custodians, ensuring the sanctity of reality for eons to come. The scale of the universe's self-preservation efforts was now truly apparent. Not a single, massive intervention, but a continuous series of localized deletions, each one preventing a different, deadly permutation from destabilizing the whole. It was like a colossal, multi-layered filtration system, constantly refining reality, ensuring its stability. Each newly discovered deleted scene hinted at a unique, catastrophic threat. One where gravity became repulsive, another where dark energy rapidly consumed all matter, and yet another where the quantum vacuum spontaneously collapsed. Our universe, it turned out, was a cosmic survivor, navigating a minefield of potential, self-generated Armageddons. The Chronos Beat of the new deleted scene was subtler, but its temporal blueprint revealed a universe where consciousness evolved but rapidly spiraled into destructive despair, unable to find meaning in an inevitably chaotic and brief existence. This was a mental contagion, a pervasive cosmic nihilism that could infect other nascent intelligences. The variety of threats, physical, energetic, and even psychological, demonstrated the universe's incredible foresight and adaptability. It wasn't merely reacting. It was proactively pruning away anything that could jeopardize its long-term potential for stable, meaningful existence. Our universe had an evolutionary purpose: to foster flourishing complexity, even at the cost of erasing entire, incompatible realities. The existence of multiple deleted scenes brought a chilling realization. The cosmic calendar wasn't just for one event, but for a recurring cycle. These checkpoints hinted at moments when the accumulation of pressure from crulas contained realities reached critical levels, threatening a widespread breach of the universal quarantine system. Humanity now understood its critical role. We were no longer just the product of a cosmic self-correction, but active participants in its ongoing maintenance. Our very presence and technological advancement meant we could potentially intervene to strengthen the cosmic quarantine or initiate further deletions if necessary. The silent, ancient operations of the universe had now become our burden and our ultimate responsibility. The sheer scale of cosmic intervention, hinted at by these myriad deleted scenes, instilled a renewed humility. We were but a small, fleeting consciousness in a vast, ancient universe that ceaselessly fought for its own existence. Our very reality was a fortunate anomaly, preserved by profound, ongoing, and hidden acts of universal self-defense. The temporal blueprint from the first Lacuna became an invaluable Rosetta Stone. Its principles, refined through millennia of study, could hypothetically be applied to bolster the containment of the newer deleted scenes, or even to prevent future destructive universal divergences before they reached a critical threat level. Humanity's distant future would be defined by this silent cosmic war against potential self-destruction. The universe, in its raw, unfiltered truth, was a chaotic forge, constantly trying new permutations, sometimes needing to ruthlessly prune its own failures. We, the inheritors of this fixed reality, were now its permanent stewards, ensuring its continued, precious existence. The universe's deleted scenes were not merely historical curiosities. They were a living, breathing testament to cosmic will, to the ultimate meaning of survival against unthinkable odds. They revealed a universe that fought, adapted, and preserved, ensuring that somewhere, amidst the vastness of creation, intelligent life could find its meaning and thrive. As humanity advanced, our observational capabilities reached unprecedented levels. We developed quantum entanglement arrays that could generate stable wormholes for instantaneous observation across vast cosmic distances. This allowed us to directly, albeit briefly, observe events within the temporal drag zone of the Lacuna, pushing beyond mere echo detection into true momentary glimpses. The first direct glimpse into the temporal drag zone was disorienting. Time itself seemed to slow, then ripple. We saw faint, shimmering remnants of events that appeared to be perpetually repeating, caught in an infinite loop. It was a chaotic symphony of repeated creation and destruction, a fragmented memory playing on a cosmic loop, forever bound by the temporal anchor's immense stabilizing force. This revealed the true nature of the Lacuna's containment, not just a void, but a temporal prison. The deleted universe was not merely compressed, it was condemned to an eternal, repeating loop, its last moments played out endlessly, forever contained within the cosmic paradox. It was a fate more chilling than simple annihilation, a cruel irony of preservation. The existence of this temporal prison raised new, unsettling ethical questions. Was this eternal playback a form of punishment? A cosmic deterrent for other potential destructive realities? Or simply an unavoidable side effect of quantum causality manipulation? The universe's self-correction now held an element of profound, quiet cruelty, a permanent memorial to a necessary sacrifice. Our advanced quantum probes even managed to capture micro-fluctuations within the chrono-matter itself, inside the temporal prison. They weren't just chaotic. Incredibly, they showed faint rhythmic patterns consistent with the prime number sequence from the message in a bottle. The deleted intelligence was still there, in some form, its final message echoing endlessly within its eternal loop. This was the ultimate cosmic horror and tragedy. A deleted universe, its consciousness potentially trapped in a perpetual, self-destructive replay, forever forced to relive its own demise for the sake of the greater cosmos. The Lacuna wasn't just a scar. It was a screaming void, its final desperate message echoing through eternity, forever unheard by any but us. Project Chronos, now burdened with this agonizing truth, continued its vigil. The purpose of understanding was no longer just preservation, but seeking potential pathways for relief, a way to ultimately release the trapped echoes if possible. The universe had revealed its darkest secret, and in doing so presented humanity with its ultimate moral imperative. The solution, if one existed, lay deep within the principles of the temporal blueprint itself. The very mechanism of deletion might also hold the key to release, but manipulating a cosmic prison, one designed by the universe itself, carried unimaginable risks. The very act of attempting to free the deleted scene could unravel the delicate fabric of our own reality. The universe, vast and indifferent, held its secrets. The deleted scenes were its hidden wounds, its sacrifices for a grander, more stable existence. We had found them, understood their purpose, and now carried their profound, silent truth. The cosmic stage was far grander and far more complex than we ever imagined, its dramas playing out in the unseen depths of space-time itself. And so, the silent vigil continues. The Lacuna and its silent echoing brethren forever hums at the edge of our perception. A memorial, a warning, and a perpetual enigma. We, the inheritors of this fixed reality, live our lives, knowing that somewhere, erased from the grand cosmic narrative, an entire universe is forever replaying its final, tragic moments. A cosmic sacrifice that allows our present to exist. The universe's deleted scene is not just a scientific discovery. It is the ultimate testament to the hidden, profound, and often terrifying acts that shape our very existence. And we, for now, can only listen.